Welcome back, everyone. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to start helping your form come back in, especially if you were going really wide. We did talk about how at times you may have to wait to let your form set up a little bit before you keep adding coils, so you don't worry about the form collapsing, especially if you have a large belly that you're forming on your form. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, so as you guys know at this point, you do need to make sure you score and add a little slip, water or vinegar before adding your next coil. When I add this coil, I am going to add it more towards the inside of the form. So I did score a little bit more towards the inside as well. So instead of placing the coil directly right centered on top of the previous coil or to the outside slightly, I'm going to the inside because we want to start encouraging this form to come in a bit more. So I'm making sure about the same amount of the coil is resting inside the form all the way around. Then I want to overlap my coil. Don't cut straight down, but cut at a slight angle, about a 45. Be mindful of when you're passing through the coils that you do not cut into your form. Then you do have to make sure you score the ends of your coil where it's going to attach. Okay, adding pressure to both sides of the seam. I'm going to get this in place a little bit better and more evenly. Blending clay where that coil overlapped on the seam there on the inside, and then doing the same on the outside, trying to really compress and seal that seam. Now I'm going to start to blend clay down on the inside. So I'm supporting with my left hand on the outside of the form. I'm just using my thumb to really force some clay down to seal this coil to the inside of my form. Do that all the way around. Okay, once you've sealed the inside, on the outside, instead of pulling this coil down, we're gonna lift the previous coil up. So you can see how we have this extra clay here because we did rest the new coil towards the inside. So I'm going to bring this clay up instead of bringing that clay down. So I'm just using my index finger and really pushing that clay up, and then do that all the way around. Once again, if it is tricky for you to use your finger or you find it uncomfortable, you could use the rounded end of your wooden knife or a popsicle stick, something that can help you push this clay up if you find it's not working so great for you using your finger. This clay has gotten a little stiff, so having the firmness of this bamboo is more helpful than me trying to use my finger. Okay, once you've sealed your coil to the inside and to the outside, we can proceed to pinch. So we talked a little bit before that the direction in which you place your fingers when you start pinching, applying pressure when you're pinching, is also going to help guide where the clay is going to go. So for this, I want to go up or even a little bit in. I think I'm just going to go up on this one. So to do that, instead of in the past when we were going out and I was pushing my thumbs in right here and angling my hands out at like a 45, I'm going to hold my fingers kind of straight up, and I'm going to push my thumbs and I'm going to roll and pinch the clay up instead of really pushing and working them out. So pushing my thumbs in and just rolling that clay, pinching upward. At any point, if you see your seams separating, you certainly can come in and reattach it. Just go ahead and push a little clay down or up into that and compress it. Because this was such a large coil, I've worked the bottom of the coil and pinched that, but I still have quite a bit of thickness here at the rim. So I'm gonna step up a little bit higher on the coil and continue my pinch motion on that top portion of the coil, because we're looking for uniformity in our walls. Now I'm also pinching my thumbs a little bit in towards my hands to kind of make this form start to go in just slightly. All right, so I'm just making another pass to strive for uniformity. Because this is gonna be a planter, you are gonna wanna put a hole in the bottom of your form. Right now my rim is too soft to flip this. What I recommend for you guys to do, which I should have done before I started this, is when you have your base, just your round shape, before you begin to build on it, just take your X-Acto or your fettling knife or paring knife or whatever knife you're using and just cut a hole in the middle. I have one of these actual hole cutters, but you can do this same thing just by cutting it with your X-Acto. Make a mark in the middle of your form with your needle tool. Mine seemed to run away. Here it is. So I'm just going to kind of eye up the middle as a guide and make a mark. Rotate your X-Acto blade and cut a hole. You might want to do one side and then flip to widen it a bit on the opposite side. And then just make sure you compress into this area with your finger to make sure that you don't end up getting any kind of cracking there. But do that before you start applying your coils to build this up, because it will be easier. If you forgot, like I forgot, after this stiffens up a little bit, I'm just gonna flip it and put my hole in the bottom. I'll still be able to do it, no worries. But this is a planter I'm creating, so I do wanna have some drainage. So just remember to do that. But other than that, that's it, you guys. And you could continue to apply your coil towards the inside if you wanted this to start coming in pretty dramatically, or now that we've come in and the form is going up rather than out, I can just lay the next coil directly on top of this one, and then just make sure the direction that I'm pushing my fingers to pinch that clay up is guiding the clay where I want it to go. So if you're going directly out, it's going to go out. If you're kind of pushing in a little bit more, it's going to push in more. So not just the size of the coil and the placement of the coil, but also the placement of your fingers and the pressure that you're applying. Okay, that's it. Good to see you, everyone. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.